Is this thing on? Hello out there. If you're consuming this in the future as a podcast, welcome to the Dead Dodge Garage Sunday Why Does No One Like Corollas special. I'm your host, Dead Dodge Jamie. Tonight's flavor is crisp and crumble apple pie. Not bad. Not bad at all. It's been a very uneventful day of mail trucks. Lots of mail trucks. Hello. God damn it. Hello, Rooster. Howdy, dog duty. Oh, my sister says, smash the like button. Whatever that means. Mofo Driver is here. And he says,
What?
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 What are you doing?
Shopping?
Are you holding a giant box of pancakes?
Breakfast sandwiches.
Oh, they look delicious.
And letting in your cat.
Why would you do that?
Because he's meowing.
He's not to be trusted. Mm.
What do you do now?
Well, he's just a jerk.
Wow.
Anyway.
Butthole the clown forever.
Yeah. It's ridiculous around here. Mofo Driver is here. What's up? I don't know. Whatever just happened there. Not entirely sure. Good evening, Stacy. How you doing? What are you working on this weekend? And is it a Mustang? I think it's usually a Mustang. Dan is here. Hello, Dan. You're absolutely right. Mail trucks equal $sign. I finished 4 repairs today. I don't remember what I did. 1 water pump. Oh, 2 stripped out transmission mount bolts. 2 different trucks. 3 bolts total. I don't know. Anyway. Money. I'll send him a bill. My sister says Colin is too tall. He definitely is. He forgot to stop growing. It's ridiculous. We are in height order, reverse age height order. So I'm the second shortest. Rooster's hugging my sister. That's sweet. I think she needs it. All praise is here. Howdy, gang. I'm back. Missed you guys the last 2 weeks. Well, good to have you. Have you been doing holiday family type things? We've been here. The last couple weeks have been a little ridiculous. My sister keeps showing up, crashing the streams, and drinking all my ciders. She finished all the raspberries. They were a limited edition, damn it. Anyway. Oh, Stacy's birthday weekend. Taking it easy. Happy birthday, friend. Many more of them. Hi from Bigfoot. He's working as always. Yeah, I never stop. Lovejoy Shipbox Sanctuary is with us and asks, have you found a chunk of irrigation pipe for the Barracuda center console yet? Not yet, but it's going to happen. Sorry, I have to do something. Hold on. I bet that sounds lovely. All the tapping things. Oh my God. Everyone go check out Lovejoy Shitbox Sanctuary's channel. He's only got 70 subs, but he's got an 84 Brat, and it looks mint. There's all kinds of cool stuff going on over there. Just a Midwestern dude with a strange fascination for the old and quirky. Brat. Anyway, to answer your question, no, but I'll get there. Oh, shit. Well, that's not good news. I hope everything's all right. Rooster. Yes. Yeah, pretty cool. You know, every CUDA is a good CUDA. I really like the round tail late ones. I don't know why. I just really like them. A friend of mine has an original 344 speed, and it is fun. I built the engine once, allegedly, mild, very mild, and he got tired of it and wanted more. So he did a stroker, aluminum heads. I haven't gotten to drive it since then, but I'm sure it's wacky. Anyway, yeah, pretty neat. So your kid was racing that, huh? And he got the attention of the local police force. Classic. Oh yeah, Stacy, that means you're a Capricorn. Everyone in my universe is a Capricorn. Well, not everyone, but my brother, my sister, at least one or three very good friends. Capricorns everywhere. Oh, dang it. I'm trying to go in order. Apologies. M1 is here. Hello, M1. It's going good. Long day of mail trucks today. I'm a little damp and I'm done. I'm done for the day. Avon is here. And Avon says, I talked about not being entertained at work anymore because my schedule changed. And now I'm here at work anyway for the second weekend in a row. Well, you did say it was in theory. Dave is here and he says, why is the crew cab in your yard? You didn't. No, I didn't. For one thing, I don't have $40,000. No. He bought a house in Arizona. So the owner of that truck has been in Arizona, Utah, New Mexico for the last, I don't know, 5 years? Some years. Living in a big fifth wheel. And he has a beach cabin up here. And so up here was home. And so he had the crew cab here for when he was home. But he's only ever been home 1 to maybe 2 times since it was done in a given year. So anyway, he bought a house in Arizona since that's kind of where they're at. And so the truck is getting shipped to Arizona. At first, he was going to have me drive it down there, but then he decided that's probably a bad idea. So he's just going to ship it. But before it goes, I have to fix all the leaks, which are many. Transmission leak being the current worst one. I have to set up a second fuel pump for the rear tank, so it hopefully works. I have to just generally shake it down and make sure it's actually ready to go, because I will probably never see it again. But yeah, anyway, it's just here because he wanted to stop paying for a storage unit and it needs to get shipped out to him. And that's supposed to happen soon, but I haven't touched it. It might be my new daily driver for a while. The tabs are 2 years expired and he says he'll pay any tickets I get. So, bummer. Lovejoy Shipbox Sanctuary had a brat, but unfortunately, life got in the way. And I sold it, but I've still got plenty of old stuff I'm working on, including my 65 CUDA, but I haven't gotten the videos edited. Well, you best get on that. That's, well, I like those. I've got one here. I've got a 66. You haven't seen it. That's the garbage can CUDA, so it would definitely fit in the shitbox category. Oh, I only just realized those videos are from a few years ago. You better get on it, friend. Or don't. It's your life. Oh, I still got bigblockdart.com open from last week. I don't remember why. Anyway, Barracudas are cool. Rooster says on that CUDA, he sent, I don't know why it makes those noises. I don't want it to ever do that. Hold on. Mute. That'll fix that. Anyway, Dad got the attention, then handed him the keys. Such a nice dad, huh? Yeah. Hopefully I can do that to my kids someday. Dan says 273 number 12 returned. Needs at least a 40 thou overbore, but it passed mag check. Neat. I want one sometime. I'm gonna put that 360 in the Barracuda. Play with that for a little while. But I really do want to do a 273. Oh, if you haven't noticed, Tom is really, really excited about the Cop Ram Charger. He is a fanatic, and he really likes Ram Chargers and cop cars. So put those two together, man. That's just, yeah. So anyway, I think you're going to be hearing from him. I should make him pick me up at 273 while he's there. Talk about that later. Michael Adamo is here. Hello. Greetings. Oh, my friend Uriel just messaged me. He's been having weird problems with his van, Dodge van, 90s Dodge van. And, oh, yeah, you're going to see him Tuesday. Yep. Awesome. He's excited. Anyway. Oh, yeah, Uriel's Dodge van, which is actually in my camper van video. Anyway, he put a brand new fuel pump in it. And it died. And he was like completely sure it couldn't possibly be the new fuel pump. It's the new fuel pump. But he cut an access hatch in the floor. So now, it's easy to replace 700 times. David has a mechanical question. When you're testing timing chain slack, how many degrees is too much? And how much is an engine with a new timing chain? I actually don't know. And the thing is, I've never really had timing chain problems. No, I really haven't. So I don't know. I can't tell you. If it does this, it's bad. But I can't express that in degrees. I'm sure you mean like backing it off and seeing how many degrees before it moves the distributor again. I don't know. No idea. See people online saying, my timing chain is bad, or it sounds like you have a bad timing chain, or this and that. And I just don't know what they even mean. I've never seen one worn out to the point that it didn't work fine. So now that I've said that, it'll probably happen. Rooster asks, why is your Cummins being stupid? My second gen is bulletproof. Does your second gen have a VP44? Because if so, it's certainly not bulletproof. Does it have a 47RE? If so, anyway, I think I like second gens quite a bit. A P pump with a 5-speed, you're good to go. My monitor keeps turning on back here. I actually have a real computer. I almost never use it. Anyway, I do talk a big game. That's true. Those were certainly all words. Okay. So the thing about the third gen, mine's an 03, so it's the very first year of the Common Rail engine. The Common Rail engine uses super high fuel pressure, like super high, thousands of PSIs. And the injectors are what you might describe as temperamental. They can have different problems. I mean, they could just stop working altogether. But the other thing that happens is they'll bleed fuel pressure by, and it can actually end up in the crankcase, apparently. I think that's more of a seal problem. But anyway, the long and the short of it is sometimes it'll lead to a no start. Mine doesn't have that problem, but what it has is cylinders dropping out. Now, what's stupid about that is the injectors are less than 2 years old. And Tom had them replaced because of a misfire problem, I think. And then it started doing it again. So he had them, or whichever one was failing, replaced again under warranty. When I got it, it was fine. Never had any misfires. It did have like an injector rattle. Not like an actual top-end rattle. Some injectors are noisier than others, like Ford's. But you could just kind of hear that it pulsing, and when you let off the throttle, it totally went away. So it always did that. And sometimes you'd hear it at idle. And sometimes it was just perfectly fine. But it never misfired until maybe 2 months ago. And it just started doing it randomly. And I've actually caught it on video a couple different times. Usually I'll be backing up and hooking up to a trailer, and I'll be standing behind the truck, dropping the trailer jack, tongue jack, or whatever, hooking up chains, and all of a sudden a cylinder will just drop out and it's going wah, 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 and then it comes back. So it needs injectors, and that's cool. I don't think I'll be putting rebuilt injectors in it again. I think I'll get actual new ones. But that is, something I need to get to. I'm not emotionally prepared to deal with it yet. So I'm going to keep ignoring it because it still goes down the road fine. It only seems to misfire at idle. Off of idle, it seems to be perfectly fine. But I'm a little worried I might break it. So that's what's going on there. Dave, I really don't know. It does not very much. A brand new timing chain, like a lot of them are actually challenging to even get started. They'll be that tight. So there really won't be a whole lot of slack. I don't think it takes too long until they wear to the point that there is some. But I can just tell you that if you're looking at the actual chain and it moves that much, it's probably bad. But having said that, I've seen a lot that had that much, and I just put the timing cover back on and kept going. That is every Magnum timing cover I have ever done. They always have a good bit of slack, and it's fine. So, yep. I'm just going to put this comment up for fun. Dan noticed that Tom is very enthusiastic about his Ram Charger. Yeah. Lovejoy Shitbox Sanctuary. I just love that channel name. It's a good one. Says, I actually found your channel researching the Magnum swap I'm doing to the Barracuda. I've got 1 year of college left, and then I'll actually have time to get a video out. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know where I find the time. It's ridiculous. The last couple of weeks, I really didn't. The CUDA video I just put out was like a last minute, hey, I'm test driving this car. Let's do a video sort of thing. So I understand. Time is very challenging. And YouTube takes a lot of it. So, yeah, cool. Magnum swap in the Barracuda. Awesome. I hope you don't want the factory fuel injection intake and an air cleaner because I don't think they fit. I really, really like using the factory injection. Fits great in a B body, but in the Barracuda, I don't know about that. Your mileage may vary. I haven't done a Magnum A body. My brother has one, kind of. It is carbureted. Yeah, Rooster says I talk a big game. That's his whole channel. His whole channel is big game. Stacy asks, so how's the Corolla been so far? I imagine the gas savings alone are worth it. Damn good cars. Brother, I was putting $100 of diesel into the third gen every week. So that's $400 a month. Oh, maybe it was only $90. Sorry, I don't want to lie. It was about $30 a day, so about $90 a week. So that's only $360 in fuel a month. Anyway, Corolla's been awesome. I've put gas in it once. Exactly once. Though I will say, random thought while I'm thinking about it. 22 of you out there, if you haven't said anything, feel free to do that. And if you haven't hit the like button, you should do that too, because it's good for stuff. Oh, a few more people, a few more regulars jumping in now. I gotta finish this thought. Corolla's good. Stereo's awesome. That's the most important part. Fuel mileage is amazing. It's relatively comfortable. The heater works well enough. I like it. I like it a lot. I do have two gripes. The throwout bearing makes noise, which is actually in the video. I don't know if anyone caught that, but there's a clip of me in the coffee drive-thru actually is when I noticed this. I'm like letting on and off the pedal and it's squealing. I don't hear it usually, but I've heard it about 3 times. So that sucks. It's probably a new clutch and the new bearing sucks. That's my guess. Maybe not, but I've had that problem several times. Anyway, the synchros in 3rd and 4th are a little soft, which is weird because it's only got 126,000 miles. So I don't know what to think of that. When I'm driving with a little gusto and I don't pause before jamming it into fourth, I get a really horrible gnashing gear sound. So I'm not super excited about that. If I shift it like a normal person and just leave a gap and let it spin down while I'm holding the clutch, it's fine. So anyway, other than that, guess I might have to rebuild a Corolla 5-speed someday, which I don't want to do. It's really good. Super pleased. Highly recommend it. Avon says, your videos have wholly convinced me to go for a Corolla when I finally kill my car. You cannot go wrong, my friend. It's just the best. And I stand by that, even if no one on YouTube cares. Actually, it's funny. I've had tons and tons of comments on the Corolla video from viewers like you, as PBS likes to say, but not very many views. And I'm not surprised by that. I just had to put it out anyway. It's been sitting on my phone for weeks, and I'm just like, no one's going to watch this. No one's going to watch this. Screw it. Put it out there. I love Corollas, and I don't care. Rooster says, Dave, you probably saw this already, 4 degrees back and forth is shot on timing chain. My second gen has a modified pump, chipped, and also bigger injectors. 6-speed manual. Oh, hell yeah. It has destroyed everything behind it several times in 426,000 miles. Nice. Awesome. So 6-speed, so that's the HP. It must be a 2002, or do they also have that in 01? I don't remember. You probably also have 4-wheel disc brakes then, and your brakes actually work. I had one 02, but it was an automatic, not an HP. And it had 4-wheel discs, and they were amazing. And every other second gen I've had, which is 4, 5, I think 4 or 5. They've all had rear drums still, and also the front discs are older and shittier, and they're not great. The 4-wheel disc models, awesome. So yeah, if you've got a 6-speed truck, that's a good one. Awesome. It is the MV5600. Apparently, they're not the greatest in the universe. Apparently. But sounds pretty good to me. Canadian Big Mac wants to know, when are you going to put the hood scoops on the Demon? Ever consider doing a 6-pack on the 340? All right. Question number 1. I don't know. I really want to get a hold of a spare hood. I got one once that Tom just gave me, and it's because it was a piece of crap and it just wasn't nice enough for the car. If I could find an original GB5 hood, I will be on that. And then I'll put scoops on it. But either way, a 71 to 70 to 72, whatever, you know what I meant, hood, I'll just black it out and put the scoops on it. And then I will put the factory hood up in the attic because I've decided I don't want to put holes in it. And I do like the plain look, but I really want the scoops. So I might even go so far as to have the paint matched and a hood painted. I know they do that to great effect at my local Chrysler dealership. So might do that. I don't know when. I'll get around to it. It's not top of my list, but I would really like to have scoops on it. I just can't cut up the factory hood. Can't do it. I have considered putting a 6-pack on it because they're sexy, but I won't. The thing is, like, the car came with a fuel injection kit, and I won't use that either. I just don't want to stray away from how it was when I got it and how Dale built it. And the thing is, that car is built to do one thing, and that's go down a drag strip. And the 6-pack isn't really known for being fast. It's cool. I mean, they're legendary, but I don't know. I don't think the 6-pack is the way to go for a dedicated drag car. It's cool as hell. It's a neat package on the street, but yeah, I don't think I wouldn't put one on that car. Now, having said that, I would love to have one on like literally anything else. My 66 Barracuda, I'm trying to find a dual quad small block intake. They actually sell them new, but I kind of think they've got the weird bolt pattern for 273 heads, so that won't work. I'd really like to do dual quads, but Six-pack would be cool too. Having said that, I'm also planning to drag race that car, and it's probably a mistake. Wigwam Jones is here. Good evening, Wiggy. How you doing? And Dan Berg is also here. Just a little late. 7 minutes ago. It's not that late. Lovejoy Shitbox Sanctuary, I will never get tired of saying that, says, I inherited 2 trucks recently, a 91 F250 with an IDI and an 88 F150 with a 300 inline-6. Both horribly broken and non-running, of course. Good. IDIs are easy. Actually, if you haven't seen it, I did a revival on one, and it really wasn't hard. It had been sitting 13 years, I think, or maybe it had been sitting since 2013, or it was licensed in 2013, but it had been sitting since 2011. I don't know, something dumb like that. Anyway, got it running. Fuel leak. That's what the problem was. It just wouldn't start one day, and I think it's just because it got air in the injection lines. Super easy to deal with. IDIs are dead nuts simple and slow as shit. But I like them. I really do. And an inline 6 300, I really like those too. And being 88, that should be EFI already, right? Ford was pretty early with that multi-point stuff. Yeah, I think you should have that by 88. That's a cool engine. And I don't want to compliment a Ford, but those fuel injection systems seem to be fairly reliable. So, yeah, whatever that's worth. If it's not running, maybe it's a fuel pump. They're pretty simple. They're relatively simple. So, anyway, cool. Good luck with that. And, also says, glad the Corolla is treating you well. Yes, it is. I'm not treating it very well, but it's treating me fine. Tin Grill Dodge Trucks. Now, there's a great handle. We've got all the great handles tonight. Says, just started watching recently. Always looking for Dodge content. Awesome. Well, I've got plenty of it. And I've got more coming. And I've got a Tin Grill Tin Grill Crew Cab W200 with a big block and an automatic in the yard right now. And I'll be doing a video on that coming up. I did one already called Problem Child. That's the truck we restored, the only truck we restored at my shop I had to close. We didn't charge anywhere near enough money to do that, but it was a labor of love. And it's really neat. But anyway, I'll have another video out on that soon. I might have to actually go test it off-road. That would be cool. Michael Adomo asks, how is the new Adamo, I assume. Sorry, not good with names. Asks, how is the new head unit? I really like it. It cost me, well, I probably shouldn't say. O'Reilly gave me way too good of a deal on it. Charged me like $180. It works great. Fits really nice. The one complaint I have is a complaint I have about a lot of cheap stereos, and that's that the backlight on the buttons is that horrible, searing eye, bright blue LED shit, and you can't turn it off without turning the stereo off. So might have to like magic marker over that or something. Other than that, works awesome. I need to put new speakers in the car. They're not fantastic, but they're not horrible. It's funny because as a professional musician, I usually neglect things like stereo speakers, but in that car, I spend so much time in it. I'm constantly listening to the stereo. You know, who could give a crap what kind of speakers are in the Charger? I'm not going to listen to that. But yeah, in that car, I would like new speakers. But the head unit's great. Did I say what it's a dual, right? It doesn't even matter. Yeah, I think it's a dual. It's cheap. And it does CarPlay and Android Auto, and it's awesome. Highly recommend it. CarPlay's badass. Scott is here and hasn't put me on mute yet. Man, everybody's late today. Wigwam Jones says, people rest their hands on the shifter and it wears out the synchros? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know anything about it. But it is 3-4. So yeah, the only thing I could think was they were like power shifting 3 and 4 all the time. Or they just didn't know how to drive. Or they drove without the clutch. Actually, the funny thing is, I am kind of sort of okay at synchro shifting. So on the test drive, with my friend Dustin, who sold me the car over there at the dealership and is often in the comments here, and bought, excuse me, that black step-side truck. I decided to show off my synchro shifting skills, and 2-3 was fine, and I tried to clutchless shift into 4, and it did that. It made that god-awful noise, and then I went, oh, okay. But sometimes it does it when you hit the clutch, too, so that's all good. Oh, Michael watched it. All right. Well, at least someone did. Noah is here. Hello, Noah. How you doing? What's new in Noah's world? Mostly just mail trucks and apple pie over here. Stacy says, that Cuda you drove was absolutely awesome. Like I commented on the video, that color/interior is awesome. I hope the guy drives the tires off of it. Yeah, I think he is planning to do that. And the cool thing too is the guy who it belongs to, he is a bit of a mechanic and a tinkerer, and he really loves the car. I don't remember how long he's had it, but I know it's been quite a while. And it, like I said, there was a lot of work done to get it to the point that it's at now. So he is very eager to drive it, and I think he will. Again, he knows it's not perfect. He knows it's cool as shit, and he's going to enjoy it. So that's the kind of car I like. It is restored, but it's a car you can drive, and that's awesome to me. And on that note, on the interior, I am just amazed by the number of commenters shitting all over it. I don't get it. I mean, yeah, maybe it's a bit of a weird combination, like a disintegrating banana, I guess. But I think it's cool. And I've stood next to it in person and admired it. It's neat. That tan brown leather look. It really looks to me like an English sports car. Now, yeah, it's a little weird with the yellow, I guess, but I don't think it's that bad. I was amazed by all the people saying it was horrible. It's original. If it were my car, I don't know, but I think I would have kept it. It's pretty sweet. Brewster's second gen is, 01. Yep. So 01 and 02, I think, that's 2-year only. 4-wheel disc brakes, 6-speed available, HP, or high output or whatever, HO, whatever, doesn't matter. Also 4-wheel disc brakes. Lots of caliper issues. The biggest problem is wire harness. Dodge trucks suck in that regard. As for 6-packs, they suck to tune, but cool. Exactly. Cool as shit, but not for the go fast. Interesting. I can't say I've heard of caliper issues on those Dodges, but I've definitely heard of Dodge trucks not being built the best. It's funny because everyone says all that's good about the Dodge truck is the Cummins engine, and I'm not saying they're wrong per se. They definitely weren't the best built things, but I do really like them. I could see why people say that. The second gen is at least a universe better than the first gen. I think we can agree on that. Dan Berg says, here's an idea. Put a 318 in a Dodge Omni. That is an idea, and a very interesting idea. I've really never done any K-car stuff. I've never owned one. I've only ever driven like 3 of them at my old shop. If I were to have a K-car or a van, I don't think I'd ruin it with an LA. I'd ruin it with a turbo. Anyway, interesting thought. My brother and I almost put a 340 in a Z car once, 280Z. I think we talked about that on one live once. It actually fit very well. Pretty cool. Rooster asks if I'm coming to Minnesota this summer. I'm not sure yet. Tom keeps teasing me about it. There's at least one car over there we really need to hook our peepers on, as some would say. I would like to go. We'll see. But if I do, I'll give you a ring. That would be pretty cool. Lovejoy Shipbox Sanctuary again on those Fords. The 300 is MPFI. Yep, I thought so. The IDI was parked in 2001 after the kid driving it filled the tanks with gas. Oh. Replaced the whole fuel system and then they parked it because it burns lots of oil. Ouch. Well, that's not ideal. I've already got the 300 running. It was, in fact, fuel pumps. It's always fuel pumps. I have a friend. I still haven't fixed this, actually. It's weird he hasn't called me. Maybe he found someone else. I don't know. I'm not really a mechanic anymore, but I am. I have a friend with a 300 powered 95 F-150 with a 5-speed. Super awesome truck, actually. Tried to get Miles to buy it once. It has 2 bad in-tank fuel pumps. So it'll run on the one. It was for years running on the one. You'd flip it over to the rear tank was fine. You'd flip it over to the front tank and it would kind of go down the road, but then it would just slowly start sputtering and crap and you'd flick it back to the rear pump and it would be fine. And then the rear pump started dying too. So yeah, it happens. Fords are weird like that. The pumps will continue to run, but just the pressure drops off. So I don't know what that's about, but it is something I've seen a couple times. So yeah, anyway. It was parked because the stupid smog pump walked up. So I recently sold my friend Dalton and his girlfriend a 71 Cadillac, and it had thrown the smog pump / water pump belt. And we thought it might be that, but it was fine. It spun fine. So we put a new belt on it and away it went for about 40 miles. And then it broke the belt again. So now we're trying to figure that out. See, we can't just do a shorter belt because the way things are laid out in there, there's nothing else for adjustment, basically. You've got a serpentine belt, I assume, so you're fine. But yeah, we have to get creative. Well, you don't have to be rude about it. I'm only 7 minutes behind now. My sister says she despises the burning blue LED glow. Yes, it's god-awful horrible. I'd like to have the option to switch between blue and red. That would be great. Yeah, the nicer stereos have that. That one I put in your Jeep, god-awful. The one I put in that crew cab tin grill Dodge truck, I made sure to buy one that was nice enough to have changing colors. And I put it on green, and it's really nice. Avon says blue LEDs are of the devil and should be banned to protect the children. Totally agree. Canadian Big Mac asks, wanted to get your opinion on something. Little Red Express or Midnight Express? Debating on searching for one and going for a 446 pack build for it with a pistol grip. Neither. And here's why. Midnight Expresses are like hen's teeth. I don't think they're not really around. Little Reds are rare enough. They're stupidly expensive. And I think modifying one is probably a sin against nature. They should have a factory 360 4-barrel and an automatic, and that's it. So I suggest you buy my 79 step side and build it into what you want and paint it like whatever you want. But personally, I don't think I would do that to those trucks. Having said that, the Midnight Express is cooler and rarer, and apparently some did come with 440s and some were 4-wheel drive. It's less known. I think I prefer it, maybe, because it's cool. But I've also never seen one in person. And I have seen a couple Little Red Express trucks, and they're cool as shit. So if you're gonna build, if you're gonna build a clone, which is what I highly recommend you do, pick whichever one you like. Warlocks are cool too. Just a simple stripe package is pretty neat. Everyone agrees with me about those cheap head units and the horrible blue light. It's god awful. It's so bad. And they just keep doing it. They think we won't notice. Danberg asks, Jamie, what have you decided on shaving your beard? Well, I am on board with the 100,000 subscriber thing, mostly because it'll probably never happen. I really need to trim it. There's one hair here that when you have the facial hair, you're always kind of eating it, and I've resigned myself to that. But there's one hair right here out the side of my lip that keeps getting like pulled in with food, and it's like you can't get it back out. It's horrible. This is brand new. So yeah, I think we're getting pretty close to beard trimming D-Day. And I'll just trim it off back to the super short mode, and it'll almost look like I don't have a beard, but I still will. I'd really like to get my hair cut. I don't know what I'm waiting for. I only have this because COVID happened and I couldn't go to the hair place to get it cut, and no one wanted to go to anyone's houses, So it got to ponytail length, and I just let it be and started tucking it under my hat. I really don't care for it, but anyway, if I shave it off, I think I'll never have it again. So I don't know. We'll see. I probably just won't do anything for a long time, and then one day I'll be like, you know what? Let's do it. Avon says, I love when lifted trucks roll up to my gas station with their piercing blue high beams shining directly in my face. Great experience. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Everything I drive is old and bad, and the headlights suck. So those guys are the worst. I put super bright, not LED headlights in the Corolla, and they're about 17.5% better than the stock ones I took out. The high beams are great. The low beams still suck, and they're pretty much the best headlights I've got. So anyway, it's all bad. But I never want to be one of them guys. Honcho's house is here and says, my favorite live show. Your channel may be Dodge-centric, but here we all seem to be birds of the same feather, or whatever that saying is. Yeah, it's something like that. I know we're supposed to migrate together. Did you know Craig Ferguson voiced one of the birds in that movie? Good times. I've been watching a lot of Craig Ferguson lately. It's just so good. Him with Robin Williams, or Morgan Freeman. 10 out of 10. Wigwam Jones says, I'm colorblind. I'd dress like a circus clown if Mrs. Wiggy didn't give me the once-over every morning. I'm partially colorblind in one eye. Which one is it? This one sees colors better. Yeah, everything's kind of pale over here. But I'm not quite to that level. Michael says, thanks for answering my question about the head unit. That's why I asked you how it was. I know it is competitively priced. I'm saying your name correct. Awesome. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty darn good. I was going to buy one off Tinternets that cost $350 or $400, and that made perfect sense to me. Double DIN touchscreen, fancy features and everything. I will say, when it's not in CarPlay mode, the like bass stereo stuff, it's fine. A little boring. I don't think it's nav capable without CarPlay either. It's just on the cheap side. But that's fine for me. It works great. As soon as I plug in the phone, it has all the things. So, oh, Noah had to dip out. Wanted to say howdy. Listening to the live as podcast form at work the following day is always nice. Ever consider a podcasting series? Yes. Actually, have been considering a podcast for years, and long before I thought I should start a YouTube channel. I'd still like to do that. I'm not really sure how I would do it or where I would release it. Everywhere podcasts are sold, I guess. I need to think about that a lot more. I do enjoy podcasts. I think I could make an enjoyable one, but I need to brainstorm, like, what would I do? What would I talk about? When you're doing a podcast, you don't have people here asking you questions to prompt clever, enjoyable responses. It's just all, I don't know. So, yeah, but I have considered it. And if I ever figured out how to do it and do it well enough, I will. Anyway, nice seeing you, Noah. Enjoy. God luck and good speed. Stacy says, I live in a town where there's tons of nice cars, but they hardly get driven, as the old guys that own them are too damn scared to get a scratch. Glad to hear that the Cuda owner plans on driving it. Yep, absolutely. That's the kind of cars I like. I don't ever want to own anything that's too nice to drive or belongs in a museum. That's ridiculous. I can't be responsible for it. I'll like shoot brake springs at it or something. Those cars are nice and they're cool to look at. You know, they get driven at 20 mile an hour onto a trailer and then to a car show. And then, you know, the old boy kicks back in a lawn chair, camp chair. What, you know what I meant. And, takes a nap behind the car. That's not me, but I do respect it. They're cool. It's not for me. Drivers, that's where it's at. Even says, every time you say K-car, I hear K-car, which I always thought was key, but it's actually, I don't think it doesn't matter. Key car, K-car, whatever. The wee Japanese things. And I would pay to see that. I have ridden in one. What the heck was that called? The guy I bought the Stepside 79 from, super, extremely aggressively nice person. Took me out to lunch because I had a truck and a trailer and I was in the big shitty and I didn't want to do that. And we went in his tiny Honda. What was it called? Sprint? I don't remember. Anyway, I didn't fit very well. I don't think I'll be buying one of those, but they're neat. Definitely neat. Dan says yellow and brown is like an M&M, and who doesn't like M&Ms? Exactly. A little bit of black in there, too. They don't have black M&Ms, do they? Stacy says, yep, it's the reason why the Mustang will never have nice paint. No point putting that much time and money into something just to have it sit. Exactly. I spent a crap ton of money on my Charger, but I fully intend to enjoy it as much as I can, as often as I can. And if it gets a couple more chips and dings, oh no. It is a nice looking car. I'm not saying I'm going to go rally it off road or anything, but I'm with you there. Does not need to be too nice. Avon is eating a yellow peanut M&M as we speak. Man, since Christmas, I have been eating a shit ton of like chocolate candy stuff, and now I'm craving more, and it's all your fault. It might become a problem pretty soon here. Welcome to diabetes. Enjoy your stay. Rooster wants to know if I'm ever going to give him a ring. I hardly know you. I never knew you cared. Aw. Oh, that's funny. God, there's another joke that goes along with that really well, but I can't think of what it is. So I'll just say, sure. Tin Grill Dodge Truck says, one of my two cars that snuck in amongst the trucks is a Shelby Turbo Omni. Oh, awesome. Way fun. Hacking a stock Omni up for a V8 might also be fun. Yeah, I bet it would. I kind of want a Turbo Rampage. Turbo Omni sounds awesome. I really want a Turbo Caravan. Now, the thing is, Hot Rod Garage has now done that. Okay, well, I wanted one before they had one. So if I trip over one, ideally with a stick, oh man, I'm there. I am so there. But a Turbo Omni sounds amazing. Didn't they have one called the GLH or whatever? Whatever. GLHS also. Dan Berg asks, what's the difference between a 65 Signet and a 65 Valiant? As far as I know, in 65, as in all other years that the Signet was offered, it's just a fancier one. And I don't even really know what makes it fancier. Probably not wood grain in 65, so trim, probably trim and badges. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know they had the 100, the V100, and then I think there was a 200, and then a Signet. I don't know. That might vary based on year. Not totally sure. But anyway, it's just trim level. It's nothing Super special. My sister says they stick a scarf over the horrible stereo in the Jeep because it's the worst. Yeah, it's god awful. Dan says Direct Connection used to sell the K-ish frame to plop an LA into the front-wheel drive Rampages and Chargers. Wow, that's very interesting. Love to find a blueprint of that changeover kit. Yeah, me too. Sounds really cool. Ooh, girls 18 site. My private photos. Okay. Anyway. Bigfoots and Mopars. Hello. Howdy. At work, but we'll be popping in. Awesome. Welcome. Glad you're here. You made it. Right on time as usual. Even says, I have electric tape over all the blue LEDs in my life. Hard to do on buttons on a stereo. That's the problem. It's the friggin' buttons that glow like that. And you need the buttons. It's horrible. What did I do? On my pedal board, at least one or two things have the horrible blue LEDs. And I'm trying to remember what I did. Maybe I put like masking tape over them so I could still see them, but they weren't as horrible. Something like that. Tin Girl Dodge Truck says Midnights were 442, only 442 wheel drive, dealer built, build a clone. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Wiggy with the answer on Signet. Dan says it's cheaper on your shampoo and conditioner consumption. Well, lucky for me, I have horrible personal hygiene habits anyway. So my shampoo budget is reasonable. But yeah, I could definitely go down. Taz Dodge Garage. Howdy again. Hello, my friend. Welcome. Says, I like the vid on the voltage limiter. Real-time engineering, IVR4. Good video on explaining it. Cool. Awesome. I think I explained it fairly well. The one thing is I was thrown off at the beginning because the first one I tested was misbehaving. And I only realized that after filming the first half of the video. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is it all worked out. I think it made sense to people. I'm going to do a video. I've been playing this for a while. You'll appreciate this. I'm going to do a big Chrysler electrical voodoo video. So I'm going to explain those, ballast resistors, the ignition modules, voltage regulators, the starter relays, like everything that's Chrysler specific and weird. I'm going to do one big video about it. It might be an hour long, but I don't know. It just seems like it might be some useful information. I really enjoy the electrical stuff. I've done a handful of electrical guides. I'd like to do a bunch more. I just kind of ran out of ideas except for that one. So yeah, anyway, that's in the future. Yeah, exactly. It's the buttons. You need to see the buttons. You need the damn buttons. Lovejoy Shitbox Sanctuary. I screwed it up that time. Says, I'm going to be doing a video series on the IDI. I try and use my knowledge from working on Freightliners for a living to get it on the road again. It's rough. It would be scrap if I wasn't a sentimental sap. Yeah, sentiment's a bitch. Let me tell you what. But very cool. Very cool. Oh, Michael asks, you had a Barracuda on the trailer. You said it was for parts. Never seen it again. I think it was yellow. It was white. It came from the same place that my brown one came from. I'm trying to remember. Did I tuck that into the mixtape video? I think it's in the mixtape video because I don't think it's in my brown Barracuda video. Or it's in the All About Barracudas video. No, it's got to be in the mixtape. Yeah, I was going to do a little bit more on that car, and then I forgot. Anyway, it's a parts car, and it is at Rocket. It actually has a title, but they cut like half of the front floor out. The torsion bar on that side was gone. I think the torsion bar cross member was gone. Like they cut a good bit out of it. I actually took the taillights from that car. That is in my first 67 Barracuda Fastback. the revival video when I put a drivetrain in it and made it drive with no brakes, and everyone said I was crazy and stupid. I robbed the taillights out of it for that car, and I think that's it. I robbed the trunk lid off Tom's 340 car, and for some reason, I didn't show that on video. Maybe because I was technically at work and I technically had better things to be doing. But anyway, yeah, it's still there. It's bad. It is not a savable car. If it was, it would already be at my house. Because, yeah, I don't really believe in parts cars unless they're to that point. And that point is the roof is rusting off, paperwork problems, or someone already started turning them into parts cars. Well, I hope you do find the time. That's up to you. Don Gray, 69 Charger with traction bars. The best go sideways car I ever had. The best go sideways car I've ever had is the Garbage Can Cuda, 66 Barracuda, 360, 4-speed with 410s. I guess I should amend that statement because it didn't really go sideways as much as it just went backwards. That's what it really liked doing. It liked flipping around backwards. And yeah, sketchy. Anyway, cool. I love my 68 Charger. It's not a traction bar, go sideways kind of car. I've done a couple burnouts, but it's just a cruiser, and I love it. Dustin watched the Corolla video at work, which is ironic because that's where he sold it to me. Someone's waving in the window. Possibly my wife. Can't tell. Anyway. Neat. You're one of very few people that did. No, I think it's got like 400 views. So it's doing pretty well as far as my Corolla videos go. Anyway, still enjoying the car. The transmission's a little goofy. And I think I'm just going to deal with it. Lovejoy Shipbox Sanctuary says, I would listen to a podcast by you. It'd be great for the night shift at work. Awesome. Well, I will keep that in mind. I really would like to do it. I still don't know what it would be about or when I would record it. But I just so happen to be the kind of person that has a studio and condenser microphones and all of the tools I need, like a really nice mixing board and a semi-pro ADA box recording interface thingy. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I could make one of pretty good quality right here. I just don't know what to do in it. So when I figure that out, I will let you know. But yeah, I think it would be, what would I call it? Would I call it the Dead Dodge Podcast, or would I call it Dead Podcast Garage? It's a tough call. Bigfoots and Mopar says, hey, anybody able to go to Sikeston, Missouri for the second No Name Nationals in September? It's an amazing YouTube car event. I will be there again. Need Dead Dodge Garage there for sure. Funny story. I think I said this on a live before. One of the reasons I started the channel and started doing the guides and sharing them to all the FaceTubes groups, the Mopar groups, was so I could get to 500 subs, so I could go to No Name. And I hit it, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I Google Maps how far is Sikeston, Missouri, and then it was like, oh, well, it's far enough that it's a $2,500 diesel bill to tow the car there. And then I went, not so much. Hopefully this year it works out. The other big thing was it perfectly coincides with, at least last year, perfectly coincided with the start of the school year. And that's a problem. Up to this point, I have been the put my daughter on the bus guy. I kind of have to be here to do that. So I would have had to take her with me probably, and she would have missed a couple weeks of school right at the beginning of the year. And that kind of sucks too. So everything just said, I don't think this is going to work. But by the time this September rolls around, just eyeballing it by the way things are going, the ad revenue might just pay for diesel to get there. So that would be cool. I'd love to take the Demon since the Demon's a big part of what got me to where I am now. But I also kind of want to take a car I actually built the engine in. So I might take the Cuda. I just had a really good idea. Take the stock 340 out of the Demon and put it here so I don't break it. Take that 360 I built, put that in the Demon, get a 273 from Dan, put that in the Cuda. Why did I never think of this before? More on that later. Anyway, I hope to be there. Daddy's Money Garage, who I've fastened subscribers, by the way. No, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything. They said the second one had been announced, and I went and checked on the face tubes, and I didn't see a date or anything on that. So when is it? I'll figure it out at some point, but I am curious. Anyway, might see you there. We'll see. Love Joe Shiplock Sanctuary says, I'm considering it, but I don't have anything running. I want to participate in an event like that. Yes, it's cool. It is neat. I really do. I wish I'd been there. Daddy's Money Garage was there with the Valiant. Bad Tree Productions was there. There was a whole Mopar group. Duddy was there too, right? Pretty sure. But anyway, I'd like to be there this year. I hope I will be. We'll see. Honda Beat. Yes, it was a Honda Beat. You're exactly right. I think it was yellow. What's wrong with that, man? Weirdo. It was yellow with like checkerboard interior, something like that. And it is pronounced K. I thought so. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm a good bit behind now, like 15 minutes. I'll try to catch up. Anyway, Wickwam Jones says, all my cars are full of dog hair and McDonald's wrappers, and the side windows have dog nose prints, and that's how this old man goes to car shows. Awesome. Good. Respect. My truck's full of dog hair. Well, my last truck really, really was. My wife's car is extremely full of dog hair and McDonald's wrappers. That's usually a my car thing. Now I've been doing this thing because I'm on the road so much. I'm like living in first the crew cab, the third gen, and now my Corolla. I actually have a bag for garbage. And that's keeping the McDonald's wrappers down to a minimum. Also, I haven't been eating McDonald's as much, which is weird. Very weird. Honcho's House asks, is the J10 from the J10 video your J10? J10! No. I really did like that truck. I was really excited about it until I learned the floor was made out of Bondo. Got it running. What was wrong with that? There were no brakes. And the clutch was stuck engaged, right? That was right after I dropped that control arm on my foot. I distinctly remembered that my foot hurt for that whole video, and the clutch didn't do anything. It was not mine, is not mine. I was strongly tempted by the dark side to buy it, but I didn't do it. It was my friend Josh's. I do believe he sold it. He cleaned it up, and it looked pretty decent, actually. It was a neat truck. It was just crusty. Rainforest crusty for sure. So no, not mine. And I do believe he sold it several months ago. He held on to it for quite a while. I think he actually drove it around the block a few times. He also owned the blue Mustang I did a revival on, and the 61 Cadillac, and the 56 Dodge stepside truck that the bed fell off of. I think that's it. Oh, and the white F. Was it an F-250? The white inline six manual transmission truck that was set up for propane. He owned that too. So all of those like random not Mopar revivals, every one of them that I've done, it was his car. Kind of funny. Stacy, was the K car Honda Beat? Yes. Little rear engine convertible? Yes. Tiny 3-cylinder, I believe, in the trunk. Neat little car. It was cool. God, I'm not good with names. Can't remember his name. I've talked to him several times since then. Like I said, he was just super cool. And one thing that stood out to me was his car collection was extremely eclectic. He had the Beat. He had I think he had a Smart. He had a Corolla almost just like mine. He had a Subaru. What the fuck are those called? T6? They're like Subaru sports car with the half of a window that rolls down. He had two of those. He had the step-side Dodge. He had a BMW electric car, I think. A little SUV thing, crossover thing, whatever. He had Cherokees, two Cherokees. That might be it. Just a lot of weird stuff going on over there. Really neat guy. Lives up in the Seattle area. Yep. No name. Giant family reunion for YouTube car guys. Definitely going to get bigger this year. Yeah, I want to go. It looked cool. I love the idea. Of course, it's way, way away from here. Lovejoy had Bigfoots and Mopars at Subaru Brat. Yep. See, you better start making videos again. Just saying. I mean, with a name like Lovejoy Shitbox Sanctuary, my friend, you could go far. Old Iron Productions is here. Oh, I think, wait, maybe you commented earlier. I don't remember. Who remembers? Anyway, GLH Omnis are sweet. Yes, I was just reading about those. Oh, of course, there's the GLC, which is a great little car. Oh, you just sold the Brat. That's unfortunate. I am very much a buy it back someday kind of guy. I just sold that 72 Swinger to Average Joe Builds, and he's working on it now, and he's very excited about it. But I do know he's not planning to keep it forever. And when he puts it up for sale, I think it would be really, really funny if I bought it for a fourth time. Oh, yes, the Turbo Omni was a GLH. Yep, awesome. Super neat. Yeah, I would get hip to one of those. Old Iron Production says, my grandparents had a 78 Omni, which they crashed, then a 79 Horizon. Yeah, interesting. I've never had any of them. Never. Not once. Lovejoy Shitbox Sanctuary says, I used duct tape to make a hinge and made a cardboard cover for my old truck to hide the obnoxious blue. That's a damn good idea. On the Charger, I'm going to put one of those cheap non-CD itty-bitty head units in the glove box, and it's in the glove box, so, I'll never see it. It'll just do the Bluetooths, and everything will be fine. All Praise says, wow, I didn't know that there were any Turbo K cars left. Learn something new every day. I don't think there were a lot, but they're out there. They are out there. Oh, my sister-in-law Erin's here and says, is that a duck? Yeah. Right there. There's a duck. StreamYard's all in on the duck. Chrysler Electrical Explained? Impossible. Have you seen any of my guide videos? I don't want to say they're very good, but they might be kind of good, and a lot of people have said I was vaguely helpful, so that's where we're at. It's funny, for some reason, I was just randomly scrolling through my most viewed videos last night, and I went back and listened to, and I was responding to responses to comments, which I have to go through a whole bunch of steps to find. Anyway, someone said something, so I decided to go back and watch one of my electrical videos to try and find what the heck they were talking about. I used to be really quiet. I was so shy. I've never been like that in real life, but I was on video for a time. Things have changed a little bit. Rooster says, Bigfoot, sorry I was eating. The Cornet boys from Minnesota are in the house. Old Iron Productions. What's the deal with the white D300 cab that was on that trailer forever? Why, you need one? Come and get it, please. I bought that from Nick Lamvinsky's Garage. I actually started making a video when I picked it up. I've never used it, and for some reason, I didn't put it in the mixtape. I think it's because at that time, I was still thinking I would make the video eventually. My genius plan... Hold on. Damn it. My genius plan was to make a ramp truck, and I have a D300, the green one, that I've done 2 videos on that I kind of sort of revived. Actually moved it yesterday. It still runs like dog shit. It's absolutely horrible, and it's a piece of junk. The white one is actually a D400. It's a 66, I believe. It's got a poly and a 4-speed, which is cool. I think I'm going to take that transmission and put it in the Power Wagon and get myself a synchronized second gear, and hopefully a transmission that actually works. And I might do a rebuild on the poly. I really like those. Anyway, I paid them. Actually, I technically owe them $100 for it still. It's supposed to be $600. The problem is they said it was complete, and it kind of isn't. It's missing the heater, all the wiper stuff, door latches, which are special, one of the fridge handles. There's just like a bunch of stuff that's gone, and I haven't been able to find any parts trucks, and they are like the swept line people in this area. They haven't been able to find me replacement parts either. So, and then it sat on my trailer for like 3 months, and I just kind of got disgusted with the whole thing. I don't know if I'm actually going to use it anymore. If I do, instead of putting it on that 70 chassis that I have, because that's just ridiculous, I'm going to get myself a first gen. I know where one is, where my 67 Barracuda Fastback came from. It is an actual cabin chassis, long wheelbase, D350 Cummins automatic, 1992, I believe. And I will take that cab off and drop that white swept line cab on. And it'll be cool, but I'll still have to find all those missing pieces. So anyway, that's where we're at. I don't know if I actually will do it. I want to build a classic style, old school race team ramp truck, and it has to be a swept line cab. I would prefer a swept line crew cab, but those are hard to find. And then the wheelbase is ridiculous. And it's not that I couldn't store it here, but it just seems stupid. And my driveway, like, I just crew cab, humongous, crazy ramp truck getting in and out just seems nuts. So I'd like to just do the single cab. That'll be fine. And then we'll put the Demon or the Barracuda on it and go to the racetrack. I want to do it. I don't know if I will. I need to get the Power Wagon done first before I really dive into another truck build. So that's what's up with that. Was that a detailed enough answer? Lovejoy Shipbox Sanctuary also watched the Corolla video. I'm surprised. Yeah, cool. I actually, like, all of my long haulers watched it. And I'm kind of surprised by that too. And again, lots of people commented on it and said, cool. But it's not going to get the wide views that the Mopar videos do. It just isn't. None of my Corolla videos ever have. But I love Corollas. It's almost like I need to make a second channel, and I would probably call it Dead Corolla Garage, and then I'd have to have 10 of those. And I could turn one into a pickup truck, and I could turn one into a tow rig like Puddin'. You don't have to rub in how cool Puddin' is. I know. I get it. Anyway, Lovejoy Shipbox Sanctuary also says Dead Podcast Garage for sure. Cool. Yeah. Cool. I like it. Build it and they might come. Don't know. Bell James says, I have a 79 Cordoba 300, mostly there, up in Roy. Are you interested? I think so. What does a 79 look like? I really want a Cordoba. There's actually one locally. I've never heard of the 300 model. Okay, so 79, they got stacked headlights. That's still cool, though. Oh, yeah. So, and it's got the 300 crosshair grille. That's what it is. Okay, I have heard of these. Is it white? I'm assuming it's white. It looks like they're all white. 79 Chrysler 300. Wow. It's sad, but it's also awesome. 360 4-barrel high performance engine. Yeah, I want that. Have your people call my people, but remember, I'm really poor right now. Yeah, neat. Send me some pictures. My email is jamienoise, JAMIENOISE @gmail.com, and I'll check it out. Patrick Ramberg, good morning, Vietnam. Dan Tupper, Richard Holdner has been doing a build and dyno series on a 2.2 liter being built for a GLH Omni with headwork by David Visner. Beisner, whatever, doesn't matter. Awesome. I've never kept up with Holdner's stuff. I've watched some of it. I like the Other Guys series, for example, and I've watched some Hemi things. I just, for some reason, I guess I never subbed to him because I don't ever see his stuff come up. But I'm gonna have to go find that. He's a little high energy for me, which might be funny for someone like me to say because I'm kind of high energy myself. But Holdner's, he's all party. He's all go. Anyway, Stacey would love a video explaining the shit idea that was the lean burn system. When I had my 76 Cordova, it was the first thing that hit the dumpster. You know what? I should do a video on lean burn. I could explain why it exists. The idea, much like fuel injection in 1958, was well ahead of its time. It just wasn't. It's just bad. Nice idea, you know. Anyway. Bad in practice. Lovejoy, Shipbox Sanctuary. Subaru Alcone or Alcone? XT? I think it is the XT. Or SVX. Might be the SVX. Not sure. But it's that one. It is that one. It's one of those. It might be both of those. I'm going to say SVX. M1. I may have made a mistake, but some years ago, I painted my 68 Satellite Hemi orange. I like the color, but when I drive it, some people call it a Charger or ask me what kind of car it is. Well, that sucks. Put a Dixie horn in it. That's funny. At least they're not saying nice Nova. Dan Tupper says, my mom had a Plymouth Horizon with the Audi engine and a 4-speed. They had Audi engines? That's very interesting. Rocket Restoration says, hi, bye. And that was 9 minutes ago, so that's where we're at. Lovejoy says, your guide videos are a godsend. What? It's awesome. The electrical on Dodges is just really weird. So, the thing about Chrysler, they were the engineering company, and they had a lot of brilliant ideas. And one of the things they engineered the shit out of was the electrical systems on those classic Vigeos. Vigeos? Shit. Vehicles is what I meant to say. It's because I read a comment down. I gotta focus. Anyway, yeah, they are peculiar. I have been living in the peculiarness for the last 15 years or so, and I have seen all of the failures. I've had bad charge circuits. I've had bad amp gauges, not the actual, but the thing. I've had that several times. I've had ignition modules died and pushed Dodge Darts out of McDonald's drive-thrus. I've also, incidentally, I've had a transmission, a 727 in a 66 Charger die in the same McDonald's drive-thru, and a 904 died in the Burger King drive-thru. And another one died in some random driveway somewhere. There's another 904 I killed too, but I can't remember what that was. Anyway, I've had all the electrical problems. The goddamn condenser failures, voltage regulators, of course. I've probably had 30 of those bad, maybe more, on my vehicles alone. Yeah. Alternators, which is weird because they don't usually die. Anyway, so the point is, I've got a lot of knowledge built up from years of suffering, and I'm happy to pass that knowledge on to you. So I'm glad they can be helpful. But yeah, it's weird. I do want to do, that's the only other idea I have right now for Mopar Electrical is that weird Mopar Electrical component video. Really want to do that. Seems like a cool idea. Just one of those big knowledge repository type videos where anyone with weird Mopar Electrical questions, they might well get answered there. If anyone has any suggestions specifically for Mopar electrical problems that they would like explained or solved for them that I haven't done a video on, let me know. That reminds me, I should probably do one specifically on the firewall connector. I've touched on that in a couple different videos, but I probably should do a firewall connector guide. That's a good idea. Anyway, I should be writing this down. What was the other one? Oh, lean burn. I am going to write it down. That's what I'm going to do. Hold on. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Lean burn. Just why? There. You can see the process. Firewall connectors. Oh, that's already on the list. It's right there. It says bulkhead connector problems and how to fix them. So the thing about the list is I don't actually ever look at the list. I never sit down and go, what should I make a video about today? I just pick a car and go. Anyway, moving on. Bigfoots and Mopar says Minnesota has the best 67 Coronets in the world. Well, that 67 Coronet 500 convertible with a fuel-injected big block, which runs now, and an overdrive automatic transmission and a bunch of other neat little things is here in Washington. Just saying. Rooster says, you said it, bro. Your blue big block beast and my gold blown 440 are cool. Bring your title and I will race you. Oh, that must be what this fella's talking about. Old Iron Productions. Technically, I have all those parts on the 61 D500, but you can't have them because I'm going to fix it up one of these days. Well, can I borrow them? Please. Yeah, I know where later push button style. Plenty of those doors are. I have a whole truck here for parts, but it's a 70 and literally everything that is missing is different. It's all 61 to 66 stuff. So yeah, kind of screwed there. Oh yeah. Dan knows exactly what it is I want. Ramp truck like the Snake and Mongoose plastic model kits. Yep, exactly. That's exactly the ramp truck I'm talking about. I think a single cab will do fine for my purposes. I'm going to do a constant ramp like this instead of a dovetail or whatever. Constant ramp, and then build in boxes under it. Obviously, it's got to have a winch, and it's going to have a trailer hitch. So if I want, I can throw the one car on it and throw the other behind it on the trailer, which would be pretty neat. Craig Bully says, I was going to watch the Corolla video after this is over. Please do. I think it's, give or take, roughly as enjoyable as all of my other videos. It's just the subject is a Corolla, so no one cares. It's not even a Honda. If it were a friggin' Honda Civic, the young Honda boys would pull in. It's a Corolla. No one cares. They're just so good. There's no drama. Anyway, I do allegedly rally an 86 Corolla through a horribly rutted mud hole junkyard later in that video. So, yeah. Anyway, I might have to buy that. I saw some gambler cars come through town this weekend, like several of them, and I got bad ideas. Wigwam Jones says, everybody thinks my four-door Valiant is a Corvair. And it makes me want to say bad words. That makes me want to drink. Yeah, that's rough. I don't even know what to think of that. Dan says, Audi 1500cc blocks. Stroker US crank to 1600cc's. Was fun to beat on when by myself. Sorry, Mom. Then brother and sister hammered on it too. That's crazy. I've never heard of that. Huh. Oh, Old Iron Productions is out. probably before I begged to borrow Sweatline parts. Hope you have a good one, and we'll see you later. Next week, I imagine. Honcho's House wants to know, got any local speed shops over there? Strangely enough, here in the Daytona area, we have none. I drove to Summit in Atlanta as a vacation last week, and man, everybody needs a local Summit. No, we don't. And I wanted to be the local speed shop for a long time. I think I figured out there's no way to survive doing that, but no, there isn't anything. I mean, we don't even have like a decent parts store that has jets and, you know, various other performance pieces like Baxter does in Bend, Oregon. I went in Baxter and I was like, this is amazing. I could tune a Holly or an Edelbrock with stuff right here. No one else has that I've ever seen. So no, we really don't. Summit is in Nevada. I've never been there, but they can get us parts. You can pay for next day. Their normal shipping, their free shipping, get stuff here in 2 days, which is awesome. So we buy from them a lot, at least as long as they have it in Nevada. It gets here fast. And yeah, super cool. I would like to go there. I've actually been very close to there several times that I've never stopped in, but I may have to do that someday. I'd really like to find a cool old, mom and pop speed shop, but I don't think they really exist anymore. They got to be rare. Anyway, I've never seen one. Captain X says, Jamie, question on the Power Wagon. When you were getting it started, I think you had a red plastic gas can and a small fuel pump to get fuel to the carb. What type of fuel pump was that? It's your standard cruising model, low fuel pressure, inline clickety-clack fuel pump. I buy mine from my local cut rate. I actually just had one die yesterday. It had been giving me fits for a while. It couldn't possibly be related to the dead bug I shook out of the pre-filter on it. Oh, Stacy's out of here. It's off to tinker with the Not a Dodge for a bit. Getting close to the first fire. Awesome. Have a good one, Stacy. We'll see you next week. And in the comments. Anyway, Captain X, you are looking for just your regular old inline fuel pump. Like every parts store has one. You need something like 3 to 5 PSI. Any higher than 5 is probably overkill. They make one that's 5 to 7. That's acceptable. But you really only need 3 to 5. It's probably going to cost you $40 now because everything is expensive and dumb. They used to be $20 to $25 all the day long. And yeah, I use those for revivals constantly. They're nice because they pre-fill the carburetor. So less cranking, trying to get fuel up there. And the way I have them set up, I just have long leads on them and hoses that are just always with those pumps. I unhook the tank feed line and hook the electric up. And I usually feed it into the mechanical pump. That way it gets the mechanical pump full of gas. And if there's any hope of it working, you'll know. So I did that on the Power Wagon. The mechanical pump does work. And I have since converted back to the mechanical pump. And I'm running off of that auxiliary fuel tank that is mounted on the driver's side right behind the cab. I also have a factory tank now. I don't know if I'm ever going to use it. It's full of rust, but at least I have it. Pretty cool. But yeah, the one that I used on the Power Wagon had it on there for almost a year, actually. I don't remember what brand it was, but I think it's, yeah, I don't know. It's whatever they had that was cheap. There are tons and tons of pumps like that. Just low pressure. Cheap, low pressure. Hunter's House says, every little stupid thing you always forget to order right there in a retail store. Yeah. My bank recently increased my credit limit. Maybe I shouldn't go to Summit. Hunter's House also says, the less hype surrounding Corollas, the longer they're affordable-ish. Damn right. I love the 08. It's good. Very happy. Stick shift. Nice stereo. 38 miles a gallon in theory. My first tank I averaged 31, but a lot of that was in town. But another one came up for sale this last week, like a 97, just kind of beat for $500. That 86 at the junkyard, $500, dude. Yeah, I hope that the hype never reaches Corollas. It's reached Geo Metros, but Corollas just keep flying under the radar. I should stop talking about them. Mark Rose. Hey, bud. I was at Summit in Texas. It's awesome. Didn't I? I think I bought my charger from a Mark Rose. Stacy's out of here. We did that. Rooster says, as for the 67 Ragtop, the second it got a GM trans, respect for that car went out the window for me. Mopar has OD trans for no excuse for that move. I don't like street rods with Chevy motors either. There is absolutely an excuse for that move, and you probably know what it is. The Mopar overdrive transmission was never behind a big block, so you have to cut the bell housing off and bolt a custom bell housing on with the pump bolts, which just seems really janky to me. They aren't very big. It just seems janky. Also, the Mopar overdrive is much larger, and it interferes with the torsion bar cross member. So you have to cut into in a B body. You have to cut into that and plate it. And I think you also have to split the trans tunnel. You know what you had to do to make the GM transmission fit? Hit one spot on the floor with a hammer. And that's it. So I know what you're saying. And the thing is, oh, ouch. The thing is, Chevy transmissions suck too. But also those Mopar overdrive transmissions are absolute garbage. And I can say that with confidence because I've killed 3 of them. So anyway, I understand. I know what you're saying. But I really think that Silver Sport kit is the way to go. I think it makes perfect sense. It fits nicely. It's an easy install. They make it a cakewalk. And I think it's going to work well. And as far as street rods with Chevy motors, I mean, they've been around since Christ was a cowboy. So that makes sense to me too. But I get what you're saying. You know, I'm not a Chevy guy. But if they have the engineering, if they have the better part, I'm going to use it. One wires, HEI modules, and maybe the 4060. We'll see how it does. But I'm serious when I say if it's good in that car, I really kind of want to put one in, maybe in my 68 Charger, which incidentally, I bought from that guy, Mark Rose. Hello, Mark. How's it going? It's been a bit. I still have the Charger. It's parked up for the winter. I don't know if you've seen my videos on it or anything. I can't remember if I sent over the one I did or not. I put an alternator and a voltage regulator in it in Bend. The alternator made it home and then exploded and like it was shooting fire out. It was really cool. The one that was in it, the charge stud was loose and it was shooting sparks out and it was really cool. I still haven't resealed the passenger side valve cover. I did fix the driver's side one. I've done a bunch of nice little things, and I drove it as much as possible this summer, enjoyed the shit out of it. So, anyway, thanks. I'm very appreciative. I love that car. Dustin says, 50,000 miles on the Rampage I sent you over. Why you gotta... Don't encourage me. Oh. Is that... Yeah, it's the one in Westport. I've seen it in person. It's not as nice as it looks. I actually thought it was the one that was in the Tacoma area and had super, super low miles and was absolutely mint. But there's no way that's a 50,000 mile car. I mean, I guess there is a way. They say they have a third owner. I don't know. But it doesn't look as good as that other one. That other one was flawless, and I was so tempted, and I needed a daily driver, and I was like, I should just go buy that. But I didn't do it. This one's really good. Maybe that is original mileage. The odometer's in line. But the seats are all torn up, and I saw it in person, and it's just the body's just not really that nice. Oh, good Lord. Why is this 72 swinging 20 grand? Oh, because it's a built drag car. It looks like shit. I'm getting off marketplace. I am getting off Marketplace. Don't encourage me. But yeah, I've seen that Rampage. It needs to be another $2,000 cheaper, and then I'll be excited. Lovejoy Shitbox Sanctuary says, when I first got my Brat running, a Brat, the Subaru Rampage, I used a pump weed sprayer, ran the hose through the window, and pumped it up. When she started to stall, I just pumped it up again. Drove it home 10 miles like that. That's really smart. I've never done that. And I've never done, you can gravity feed them. You can put a little fuel can or whatever up on your roof. And if you prime the line and plug it right in the carburetor, it should gravity feed. Never done that either. Anyway, that's clever stuff. Captain X, yep. Hope that helps. Like I say, those fuel pumps are everywhere. Honda Man 99. I just started working on my late uncle's 74 Duster. Oh, very cool. Sorry, your uncle's no longer winning with us. My first Mopar I had that I drove was a 74 Duster. It had hang 10 bucket seats, and it had a sunroof hacked into it. And it had weird little spots of rust at the back of what had been the half vinyl top on the roof. So this far from the back window, there were just rust holes on both sides, which I think I filled with silicone. But slant 6 automatic. It had an absolutely smashed and destroyed windshield, which was fun. I loved that car. Drove it all over. That was the one I referenced a minute ago. I pulled it into a driveway one night to turn around, and I put it in reverse. And the 904 just decided, you know what? Reverse is drive too. Everything's drive. Oops, all drives. So then I turned it off and coasted it backwards out of there. And that was the end of that car. Took the drivetrain out. That was actually my first transmission swap. I took the drivetrain out and then put the engine in my Valiant, and I cracked a bell housing on a 904 trying to put the transmission and engine together because I didn't know that you had to stack the torque converter. And I thought the problem was I had used the wrong torque converter or something. Anyway, there's a learning curve, and everyone starts out stupid, and I certainly did. Anyway, 74 Duster. I loved it. The Demon to me is sort of like the spiritual successor of that car, but much, much better. I still kind of want another Duster. Slant 6 would be great. Dan Berg, I know. Let's think about this. A 340 in the Corolla. I like the way you think, Dan. I have entertained similar thoughts for many years. Many years. And I'll leave it at that. Lovejoy says you're a genius. I completely agree. Honcho's House says, you sound like you've been watching AVE Vajeos. Oh, good. You caught Vajeos a minute ago. Since Christ was a cowboy. He's got an Empire of Dirt. I've got Dead Dodge Garage World Headquarters. I actually haven't seen any of his videos lately, but I was watching them religiously for quite some time. Dan Tupper. Clutch flights are bolted on using trans pump bolts. Ran in funny cars until the early 80s. Well, I guess it's fine then. I'm sure it's fine. I don't know. I just don't like that Mopar overdrive. I do, but I don't. I really liked the way it worked in my Charger when it worked, but it only worked briefly. So, yeah, there's that. Wigwam Jones. Eastwood was in Detroit today for a swap meet. I didn't go. I like their stuff. Can't afford most of it. Harbor Freight for me. Yeah, awesome. Well, if Eastwood has in-house credit, sign me up. Yeah, they have all kinds of cool stuff. I mentioned this. There's no Harbor Freight here, so I've never become a Harbor Freight guy. I like it in theory. I've had some Harbor Freight stuff, and it was fine. I just bought a welder. I know Eastwood has nice ones. I bought a Cornwell because I could pay for it with truck payment things every week. And I'm really happy with it, actually. Very nice. Brewster says, back in the day, we used power glides and blown Hemi rails, so it is what it is. I need to run. Try to get a hold of me this week. I'm going to pick up the blown Hemi next Saturday, so that'll be fun. Yes, awesome. Cool. Hope it works out. I know you said the guy was kind of getting cold feet or something, so Sounds good. Yeah, you know what I'll do? I'll call you on one of my commutes. I just gotta Earth to Jamie. Remember to do that. Take it easy, Rooster. Oh, and I know power glides are kind of the thing. My friend put one behind a 451 stroker in his Gasser straight axle early Barracuda called the UFO, which is amazing. But anyway, just one shift, baby. Bad 66 Chevelle says, just finished putting LA valve covers on a Magnum. Nice. Excuse me. Hey, Dustin, we need to do that on your truck. Make sure we do that sometime. Honda Man 99 says, this 360, this Duster has a 360 with dart heads. Dart makes Mopar heads? And a stroker bottom end sitting in front of a 727. Hello there, darling. Are you a giraffe?
No.
What are you? Oh, you just spotted. Wait, I thought you were. Wait, I don't know what you are, but you have ears.
I'm a cat.
You're a cat. I've never seen a cat with that kind of spots.
It's a cheetah.
Oh, cheetah. Adorable. How's stuff going? How was your bath? You all clean?
Yeah.
Awesome. You want to tell everyone about your bath bomb that you got? Or do I have to do it? It was a little cloud. And what was it doing?
It was puking out rainbows.
It was puking out rainbows. It was amazing. All right, don't hit me in the face. I got to answer questions. It's getting late. We're running out of time here. I got to get through all these questions. Dead Dodge Daughter's with us. She's a cheetah.
Not with us.
She's hiding now. I have a shadow. Bad 66 Chevelle says, small block Mopar had it right. I love the Magnum 59360s. Love the distributor gear design. Not like a Ford or Chevy small block. You can run a points distributor in a Magnum. Yep. They were smart. The Magnum is, I've done a video on this, the differences on them, but obviously you've kind of already found that out. They were smart and they made it backwards compatible. Now, GM, I mean, they did do that. I'm pretty sure you could use a points distributor in a Vortec if you had to with the right intake manifold. But yeah, I very much like the whole not having to clock it thing. You either go north or south for the winter. It's one way or the other. Yeah, I really like the Magnum engine. The Magnum engine is great. I like the heads. People were crapping on them in the comments once, but I think they're super good, especially for street engines, and that's what I'm all about. But they can make power if you want. But yeah. Anyway, I agree. They're awesome. It's a great engine family. It is a great architecture. Very much enjoy them. And Honda Man says his is LA. Lovejoy Shitbuck Sanctuary. If you think you know everything and are never wrong, you have a future career in U.S. politics. Damn right, my friend. I am wrong all the time for fun, and it's fine. And I'll be the first one to say, in fact, I say on video all the time, I am not an expert. I'm not a certified mechanic. I never was. I never went to school. I've never completed a training program. Everything I've ever done, self-taught, learned on the internets and just by doing it and from people that do know. So yeah, we're all learning. We're all wrong all the time. You gotta be dumb before you can be smart. So yeah, what you said. Miles reminds me that there's a Harbor Freight in Olympia. Yes, I realize that, and I'm also there 3 days a week. That's not the point. Captain X says Mopar and Chevrolet love each other. Yeah, I'll take the Chevrolet electrical system because it seems to kind of work. The HEI ignition and the one wire. But I'll keep the Chrysler engine. Thank you very much. Chevys are fine. I mean, they're fine. They're good. It's just, yeah, CLA Mopar for me. I love it. And the big blocks are good too. But I'm an LA guy. Bad 66 Chevelle says, I'm not knocking Ford or Chevy, but Mopar had it right with the gear design. Completely agree. Yeah, you don't hear a Mopar's disintegrating friggin' cam gears. So, distributor gears. You know what I meant. They just don't do that. Yeah, they don't have that horrible material issue. Yep. Pretty cool. They're also good on oiling systems. Kind of. Except for the whole oil pan fiasco. Small block Mopar is the winner for late 90s small blocks. I completely agree. The heads were awesome. The Vortex Chevy. I had a 5-liter in my Cobra with the 90s EFI system. Mind you, it wasn't a factory one, but it impressed. It was cool. So I do want to give credit where it's due to the Ford small block. I really do like them. I know that's weird, but they're so small. They're so compact. They fit in everything. And for the size, they pack a wallop. So they're pretty good too. But I still prefer the Magnum because I'm a Mopar guy. I actually also had a 50HO 5-speed 95 Mustang, which I liked quite a bit. But I will say in that stock form, even the high output version, it was very anemic because that teeny tiny ports. Yep. Very, very anemic. Cool engine, fun. That car, funny enough, that car is what I learned to power shift in because you could do that because it makes so little horsepower. What's going to happen? You're not going to die. Anyway, the 340 Mopar, on the other hand, little different story. Captain X said something about a movie star. I don't know what that means. Love Joe Shitbucks agrees with me and says I'm wrong more than I'm right. I'm wrong all the time. You ever see me issue corrections in my videos? Because I say shit wrong. I mean, that's the whole point of the Dead Dodge Garage drinking game. It's very effective. Yeah, I'm just wrong all the time. Yeah. But I do try to correct myself and remind everyone I'm human. And I try to include pets in all my corrections to soften the blow, Bad 66 Chevelle says the Magnum intakes are junk with the pan underneath and sucking oil into the intake when the gasket fails. Yeah, I have a whole video about that. You know what sucks even more? When all the friggin' intake bolts on the ends break off and you have to remove them with a welder and vice grips and hatred. Anyway, I won't say they're junk. It is a problem. The problem is the gasket. Chrysler did not know how to make paper gaskets in the 90s. They just didn't. That intake gasket, the timing cover gasket, same garbage. They're just bad. Solve that problem, and it's fine. They're not great for making horsepower either. But, again, the land I live in, a stock Magnum makes plenty of power for a street car. And that is a hill I will die on. School's for fools. Completely. I don't know. School works for some people. But I will say the mechanics I've met and worked with that went to school to do it, no, not good. The problem is you get out of it. You have to dedicate yourself and get out of it what you want and what you need. And I don't know if people necessarily do that. They go to school so they can be a mechanic, but I don't know. At least the ones I've met just didn't really get it. I mean, they know some technical things and they can turn wrenches and all that, but going to school is not what makes you good at it. And I've been told exactly the same thing about diesel technician. There was a time when I was going to go into the diesel tech program because where I live, logging and trucking industries are huge. There are semis everywhere. So diesel stuff, there would be an endless supply of work. I mean, there are trucking companies everywhere looking for mechanics and they pay good. So I thought, yeah, I could go to school. I could be a diesel tech. I like diesels. That would be neat. I would have a piece of paper that says I am allowed to do this. And then someone told me, don't. All the companies know the kind of technicians that are churned out of that program, and they don't hire them. They'd rather hire someone with mechanical aptitude and teach them their way. So anyway, I'm not saying school is bad, and I'm not saying that it doesn't churn out people that know how to do things, but I am more aligned with people, again, with mechanical aptitude and with dedication to figuring crap out, and people who are hardworking. And just going to school doesn't mean you can do that. So, did anyone even ask? Lovejoy Shitbox Sanctuary says, to be fair, the only reason I'm taking college courses is because my work is footing the bill. Awesome. If they want you to take the course, great. They must like you enough to know that you will get out of it what they need. And that's great. Yeah. The Ford, it's amazing. So when I got my Mustang, mind you, this was a few years ago, long before YouTube anyway. I liked it. I really liked the T55 speed. I thought it was a neat car. And I could tell it needed more horse ponies. So I started reading, how to upgrade the 302. And then I learned that, okay, I found this list on the forums. And it was like, excuse me. You could do this, you could do that, you add headers, bigger injectors, do this, do that, do that. And at the end of that list, the bolt-on list, it was, you'll make 205 horsepower. And it's like, oh my God. And then it's like, you really need to change the heads. And then you'll make 240 horsepower. And I was like, never mind. What a waste of time. Anyway. Mark Rose says, I knew I sold the Charger to the right person. I miss it. But I sure enjoy my 69 A12. Say hi to Mom for me. Will do. She was just here for the holidays and such. I think I'm the right person. I've made a good few videos about it. Maybe I'm not the right person because allegedly I accidentally shot a brake spring at it a few weeks ago, and it dinged the friggin' quarter panel. But the thing is, I'm looking at the ding, and I look here, and there's another ding, and here, and there's another one, and then I go, okay, it's fine. I mean, there are rust bubbles around the repairs. There's a lot of little stuff I didn't notice when I bought it, and that's fine. I'm very happy with the car. Very happy. The passenger fender looks like it was in a hailstorm, and the rear window filler kind of looks like that too, which is weird. There's one little rust bubble under the vinyl top. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's a beautiful car, but I can enjoy it, and I do. So anyway, thank you again. Very appreciative. Bad 66 Chevelles again on Small Block Fords says the Ford GT40 heads are a crock. The ports aren't much better. I know. They're just ridiculous. You'd think with the evenly spaced thing, the architecture would be there to make a good head, but apparently not. Oh, yeah. If you want good heads for a small block Ford, go with aluminum. Yes. So that Cobra engine, the one that, again, it really, really did impress me. I think it only made 300 to 350, somewhere in that range. But it had the Ford Motorsports aluminum heads, and that thing was good stuff. Now, mind you, 2,100-pound car, that Cobra replica. It was friggin' fun. It was quick, and that engine really, really did make an impression on me. So, yeah, one of those Ford Motorsports crate motors, great. Or get your hands on those aluminum heads, or I'm sure Edelbrock has them. I'm sure other places do. But yeah, throw the aluminum heads on there, get yourself a rowdy cam. It even worked with a factory EFI system, and it worked great. So yeah, I really like them. I really appreciate what they are. But I'm a Mopar guy, and I'd rather have a Magnum. Just saying. Magnums make 400 easy with stock heads. Easy. Snowmonk VX. That's not 15. Whatever. Anyway, Snowmonk is here and says 727s. Thoughts on a 66 poly 318 transmission surviving a bolt-on 383. Differences between them. All. The bell housing's totally different. You can't do it. Big block and small block transmissions are not the same. They're different case. The guts are the same-ish. That varies. They're actually different versions, hypo versions, whatever. That's not important. In theory, they're all the same, but the cases are different, so it will not work. You'll have to change your transmission. The good thing is the difference is the bell pattern. So it physically will not bolt to your big block. But what's not different, shifter, kick down, starter location, basically. So starter wiring, all fine. The bolts themselves, the same. Transmission mount location, nothing else physical back there is different. So it's going to fit when you get the big block transmission to put in there. It's going to hook right up to the car and everything will be fine. But you cannot use your small block transmission. Won't work. Dan says, wish somebody made a water-heated dual-plane 340-esque 4-barrel intake for Magnums. Like a performer that wasn't selling for $500 plus used. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, if you want a 4-barrel manifold for the Magnum, you go to eBay. Lovejoy says, Diesel Tech student right here. Yeah, I assume they sent you to that class to get learned. If I really wanted to, I could get through the program without ever learning anything. I know some students who did. See, that's the problem. The ones I've known that have come through the auto tech course, and I know these people went through the course some time ago. I know the instructor now, and he's very good. He really knows his stuff. In fact, I was on his advisory council for a while. Technically, I think I still am, but they stopped inviting me to their meetings. Anyway, he's a really good dude, really knowledgeable. But yeah, you know, the students are going to take out of it what they want. And students that, I don't know, you got to have a passion for it, and you really do have to have a mind for it. I'm lucky in that regard. I just wrapped my brain around this crap. I really dedicated myself to it. And I love it. So yeah, I know another good mechanic who ran a shop here. I don't know that he ever went to school, but he told me, I don't like cars. I'm not a car guy. And I don't understand that. I don't know how anyone could get into mechanicking not being a car guy, but people do it. Anyway, all that aside, I got to get through these last comments, guys. We are at 2 hours. Please don't ask me any questions. I'll try to answer everything that's on the board right now. Yep. Love you say later the instructors are not the problem. It's the students. Yep. Completely agree. Totally agree. That's exactly what I'm saying. The students I've known, they were the problem. Lowest tier garage. Cheers from Canada. Cheers from not quite Canada, my friend. Although I have been referred to as West Coast Canadian. I don't know what they're talking about. Anyway, cheers. Thanks for being here. Yep, they're all unemployed now. Bad 66 Chevelles. Couldn't you just take a dual plane intake for a Magnum and drill it for the injectors to permanently fix the failing gasket issue on the original? Well, no, because the throttle body doesn't fit. Also, those dual plane intakes, I've thought about that because they have the little nubbins for like NOS injectors or whatever. They're not on the same plane. I was just looking at one like yesterday. They're on different planes, so you can't put your injector straight into it. Now, on a single plane where all the runners are the same, yes. And being fuel injected, does it really even matter? Probably not. Single plane's fine. But the throttle body is still not going to bolt on there. You'll need a conversion of some kind or a different throttle body, and there will be so much science involved. It's the M1, Mopar Performance M1 intake that does what you're talking about. Goes on there, gets rid of the keg, the injectors fit, the throttle bodies fit, and it's awesome. And it's $800 or more. Yeah, Dan's got it. Easy. Use a single plane intake, get your Magnum heads re-drilled to LA, and get bungs welded in for EFI. Yep. that would be the way to go. You could also re-drill the manifold for Magnum vertical bolts, which I've seen done. Might be easier and less destructive. I don't know. Ah! The vultures are circling here. Honcho's house signing off. Yep, me too. It's about that time. Keep the dirty side down. Well, no way to know which side that is. Let's just keep it between the ditches. Yeah, keep the nose of the car generally pointed in the right direction, unless you don't want to. Oh, and Hughes makes a performance RPM air gap for EFI, fully assembled out of the box. So I didn't know that. But yeah, same thing. Super expensive, just like the M1. There's no affordable option. There really isn't. Bad 66 Chevelles. I had shops telling me I couldn't go from EFI to carb on my Magnum because it won't pass state inspection. Other shops telling me it had nothing to do with state inspection. If you are in a place that requires emissions testing, you will not pass. So no, you can't. If you're in an emissions exempt state, do whatever you want. No one's ever going to look. But technically, all of your original emissions equipment is supposed to be there and operable and yada, yada. So you're probably technically breaking a federal law or something. No one's going to look. Many people do it. Every Honda owner does. Why not? Personally, I don't think it's a big deal. But I also really like the Magnum EFI. And I wouldn't be ripping it off to put a carb on there. But I could understand why you might want to do that. Stonemike says, hey, many thanks for the info. Folks like you are a wealth of knowledge. Awesome to call on. Keep up the content. I will. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate the compliment. Drink, I guess. I'm happy to help. I don't know how I ended up being the guy that knows all this crap, but here I am. I have a question. How do they make green Jell-O? Well, these guys got together and made this band, and it was pretty rad. Let's be honest with ourselves. Has anyone else here seen the Green Jell-O VHS tape before they were forced to change their names to Green Jelly because, copyright infringement? Who do we know that's used a famous name in their name and is hoping not to get slapped with a lawsuit? Lovejoy wants to know, why is the sky blue? Science, bitch. Lowest Tier Garage, what are your favorite style mufflers? I love turbo mufflers right now. Really dig the old school sound. I love turbos. I have a good bit of affection for glass packs, but I really like the sound of the welded style mufflers, like Thrush or whatever. Turbo mufflers are good. I can't remember what the brand is, but the cheapest turbo muffler that was stocked at the O'Reilly I worked at, I put those on my 66 Charger with a 383, and it was really cool. It sounded like an angry cat when I revved it up. I really liked that. But I think I like the welded sound more. I don't know why. I just do. Or 3-inch glass packs. 3-inch glass packs, ideally with side dumps. That would be really good. Oh, bad 66 Chevelles. Last question, is the El Cheapo Magnum bolt pattern intake any good that you can get on eBay? Yeah, it's fine. We've gotten a couple of them. They work fine. They are cheap, but yeah, they do the stuff. So I wouldn't hesitate. Go for it. Good price for what it is. Lovejoy's out. See you next week, my friend. Thanks for being here. And thanks for asking questions. I really appreciate that. Because I can't really answer or be helpful without them. Good night, Dan. We'll see you next week. My sister was just talking about green Jell-O. That's really weird. All right, folks, that's going to do it. Oh, my butt's sore and my drink's empty. Thank you so much for hanging out. My friend Miles just messaged me to remind me that 1,000 people have subscribed in the last month. So I guess we're going places. Feel free to tag along. I'll see you next week. Have a good one.